about to see, this flight was a little stressful, with the engine quitting not once, but twice. Please hit the like, thumbs up button. It will really help to get this video out for more people to see. We are going to walk through this video and point out the things that went right, what went wrong. At the end, we will discuss 2 additional steps that would have increased the safety margin for the outcome. At this point, I had already completed the pre-flight, gotten the weather, made a note of the airport traffic, and finished the run-up flight controls check. Everything seems completely normal for the tail-up takeoff, turn to crosswind and turn to downwind, but then I reduce the throttle to cruise power. Specific RPMs that I set the engine to depending on the phase of flight. So I looked down at the tachometer as I reduced from takeoff RPM to cruise RPM, and just as I pulled back on the throttle, the engine died. In our pilot training, we were taught to immediately undo whatever we just did to cause the emergency. So, in that brief moment of cold black silence, I shoved the throttle back in and the engine comes back to life. I quickly check all of the gauges and the fuel selector valve. Everything is correct and in the green. So I attempt to reduce the throttle again, much more slowly. And again, the engine quits. In the second cold black silence, I shove the throttle back in, the engine comes back to life, and I notice that the mixture control has worked out almost all the way to the shutoff position. I push it into full rich, but it will not stay in position. The mixture control lock had failed. So with the heel of my hand, I hold it in as best I can and manipulate the throttle with my fingers, and success! I am able to reasonably well control the engine. At this point, I considered declaring an emergency and turning back to land on the departed runway, but I had reasonably good control of the aircraft, and doing so would have closed the airport to any other traffic until the emergency was over, so I decided to continue in the pattern with a gradual descent. I also started scanning for emergency off-airport landing spots just in case. I considered a crosswind landing as I neared the approach end of runway 4, but I still had decent altitude and speed and was not confident in the survivability of a crosswind landing with potentially no power. So I started my base to final turn lower than normal, but at a decent speed, and made the approach to the runway as shallow as possible, because I knew a go-around or aborted landing was pretty much out of the question, and I had this one chance to make it stick. Two things I should have done. First, I omitted the mixture control in my first emergency scan. If I would have included it, I potentially would have found the problem before I killed the engine for the second time. And second, even though I decided against making an emergency mayday call, I should have made a pan call on frequency to let the other pilots know that there was a potential problem developing. I landed safely and am now replacing the failed part on